Welcome to Aussie Sidecar Stories. In this episode, we catch up with Shane and Kane from Rudloff Racing in South Australia. We recap the RCA Civil Group Australian Sidecar Speedway Championships and also a bit about the guys and their racing history apart and then together. Pretty amusing that both of the guys have started Think, neither of them finished. We laugh a lot in this episode, really enjoy it. Thanks heaps for the guys for jumping on and having a chat. And for anybody who loves what we're doing here at Aussie Sidecar Stories, it's totally free to show your support on social media and the podcast listening platforms. Just rate, review, subscribe, make sure you turn on notifications and let people know what we're doing. Share it around, share the love for sidecar racing.
Whether it's road, dirt or cross country, there's no better feeling at a racetrack than the sight, the sound and the excitement of a sidecars race. The Aussie Sidecar Stories podcast is here to share the stories of the people who live and breathe this wild sport. From the riders and passengers to committee members and volunteers, it takes a village to keep sidecar racing alive, and we want to welcome you in by sharing their stories.
We've got Shane and Kane from Rudloff Racing.
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Well, thank you. All the better for having you guys on to chat. I love it. Some of the Speedway teams have been a little bit unsure about jumping on for a chat. I don't know what I've done to upset you guys.
I think we're all just nervous.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't normally talk on cameras. We usually got helmets on. You can see what we look like.
Well, that would make for an interesting episode, wouldn't it? Have guys sitting there with their helmets on Stig style.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Might have to start doing that. That's a good tip. I might run with that one.
Yeah.
Awesome. But of course, I flicked you guys a message and a few of the other teams off the back of the recent Australian Sidecar Speedway Championships down there in Mildura. You guys were one of the ones who, I don't know whether it's lucky or unlucky to end up running both nights. So you just had to go through the qualifier to get into the final.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Like you're worn out, you're exhausted, you've done more work, it's cost you more money, but you've got an idea of the setups. So
yeah.
it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. I actually don't mind doing the night before. It gives me a chance to get my eye in a little bit, even though the track can be completely different. You've still got your eye in. You've got that monkey off your back, and if you've managed to get through, well, at least you know you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, well, and that's very true because I have heard from so many people, even the track prep guys, that Mildura is a track that is not the same two nights in a row. It's really, really interesting like that.
Yeah, and a lot of tracks are, like it's very, very hard for a track prepper to give you the same. Sometimes it can be great on the first night and absolute woeful on the second night. Mildura actually do a really good job where they've learnt from the first night and they don't ruin it. A lot of the times they actually make it. It's probably my third time for an Aussies at Mildura. And nearly every time it's been better the second night. So they do a really good job. The crew they've got there are really good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And as we know, it's always volunteers, so it's good to give them a little bit of a wrap. So rolling into that first night, you guys were in the second heat of the night that ended up being delayed for a good 45 minutes after an incident during the opening stages. What does that do to you when you've started, the adrenaline started pumping, and then there's that massive pause, which we're not going to complain about the pause, it was justified, but how does that mess with your adrenaline?
Well, it does. It messes a little bit, but
it plays on your mind. But the worst part is when you're in front and you've got to do it all again, and then you don't do it again. But yeah, it's hard because you've had everything there, and then you've started it, and then you're all messing around pretty much, hoping that the people, obviously because of the incident, hoping the people are right, but trying to make light of it all, I guess.
Yeah.
In one sense, but then it's hard to get because you're all out there, sort of trying to take your mind off what's just happened. You lose that little bit of an edge, I guess. You're not all 100% pumped, ready to go. Well, I'm usually sort of more relaxed anyway. So I haven't got that 100% edge of it's round one, let's go.
Yeah, well, that's it, because once
it's hard.
you want to get in and get that first one run and done, and then everything falls into place from there. Is it similar for you, Kane, or?
I think I suppose I don't put a whole lot of. I mean, you put pressure on yourself, but I don't necessarily get like nervous when it comes to the start line. Like a lot of people get in their head and get worried about it, but I think where we've gelled quite well is like we make a lot of fun out of it.
Yeah.
So for that 45 minutes, I reckon my cheeks was cramping from laughter because we were just having a bit of a chat and a bit of a giggle and mostly teasing Brody Cohen about how tight his race suit is. But everything was it was quite good fun. But as far as getting your head switched on, I think like with experience and racing, like it's pretty easy to flip that switch back to all right, gate's going up soon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not really. I don't find it that much of a struggle at the moment.
Well, that's it. And as you mentioned, the hardest part for you guys was you were in the lead, and then you didn't manage to get that back by the time the checkers actually fell on the race. But you finished second for that heat, so not too bad overall.
Nah, and as you know, like it's the qualifying night and even the Aussie night, like every race is a final. All the competitors out there are hard, so to still finish second behind Brody, and being a fresh team, we were still happy with that. The first race would have been better, but we're still happy with second.
No, that's it. And then through the rest of the evening, through the rest of the evening, you've managed to be pretty consistent with the results that you got, because of course you scored the points. Do you guys, because in Speedway you guys have the points system that you're running off, and that's something that I'm still getting my head around, how the points all work. Are you actually watching the points throughout the night? So you're kind of going, well, hang on, we need to be getting these results to be able to get through, or are you just going out there, as you mentioned, every race is like a final?
Yeah, it's hard. Like, gone are the days where I've never really watched the points. As long as you're getting firsts and seconds, generally you're gonna be around the pointy end. So you're either gonna get through, or you're gonna be very close to a semi-final. Depending on what format they're running. So no, I don't watch the points as such. When it's getting towards the very end, it's like, oh, have we got enough points? But no, it's just trying to be consistent. Like to win a race, first you've got to finish. So if we can be consistently up there towards the front, first, seconds, thirds, and we're enjoying it and having a laugh and all coming home safe, that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as we know, you guys got through sixth from the qualifier night to get through. What kind of work do you do when you've had to run both events? What are you guys doing in that sort of day that you've got between?
Well,
I did nothing.
True passenger style. Hey, we're guilty of that.
I used to completely pull the bike apart, clean it, wash it, do all of the stuff. But as bad as it sounds, the program we sort of ran this year, because we've done quite a few back-to-backs, and we finish at Gilman, we come home, it's late at night, then we have to leave to head off to Mildura the next day quite early. It's sort of been give the fiberglass a bit of a wash and change an air cleaner and go, let's roll into heat 3. Like you do a practice and it looks exactly the same as it was from heat 3 the night before. So it's like, as long as the basics are done, if it needs an oil change, if it's due for an oil change, you do that. But I don't go to the extreme I used to of completely strip it, pull it apart, wash it, put it all back together. It's like pull the fiberglass off, do air cleaners, and new tyres, obviously, and yeah, good to go. So, and then obviously Jade had to wash all the seats and the gear, so she probably ended up doing more than us for Mildura. We just sat back, relaxed, and talked about what we needed to do the next day. That was our main goal, which was do the best we can and have some fun.
And again, Kane, passenger, you just hung out, relaxed, we'll say it is, so that you were nice and fresh and limber, ready for the next night.
Yeah, well, I think the main thing that I was struggling with was just muscle soreness, not knowing what muscles you commonly use as a passenger. I think I was rubbing in some deep heat in the calf and complaining about my butt cheek the whole time from dragging on the ground, but that's about it. That was my preparation.
That was your contribution to the prep.
Yeah. Just make sure I'm fit and moving.
We noted that on the complaint list.
At least your complaints about a tight butt cheek is a bit better than sometimes on road you get the complaints about it actually being dragged along the tar and you end up with some nice gravel rash.
No, that's it was just like the back-to-back when we had Gilman Mildura. That was when I tapped on the ground and gave myself a bit of a bruise on the bum, and then I whinged about it for probably 2 weeks. So then Shane put the hip sliders on the suit, and they were good. But by the end of the Aussies night, I reckon I was pretty raw. But yeah, no, it's good. Just maybe, I don't know, put a line through that one on the old complaint list. That was pretty good.
You guys have had a pretty short season together so far. I hope the complaints list isn't too long.
It's one of those scrolls, isn't it?
Oh dear.
That's the written warning.
Yeah, he's had his written warnings a few times. The rider becomes passenger, rider becomes passenger. So it's a bit of a running joke. Yeah, we've had some fun. So.
Oh, look, and that's what it's all about. So talk me through your Aussie titles night. You got to race on the Saturday. You've earned your spot to be there. It sounds like you guys are just a very relaxed team going into it. So is it the same even though it's a title and it's a big event?
So that's a hard one. I think you're always going to put that little bit of unexpected pressure on yourself. The main goal was obviously completing laps and finishing at the pointy end. So going into an Aussie, the idea is to get into the main field. Obviously you want to get into the final, but certain things can happen. People drop points, bikes, accidents, all that sort of stuff. But and an Aussie title, that's the best of the best. So you want to be able to get in there, and just to get in is the achievement. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of going in circles now, aren't I? But yeah, it's there's a lot of mental prep thinking about the main night, even though you're racing in the qualifying night. But I think our main goal was just to score points. Every meeting that we've gone to, we've set small goals and ticked them off as we've gone. The meeting before Mildura, or the first meeting at Mildura. I don't know if you would have seen footage of that, but we were ugly. That's to put it politely. We were not great, but I think a lot of that was because I'm bigger than your standard passenger, and trying to learn and do too much, and
I think still having a little bit of the rider mentality,
trying
to re-educate, to get him back to a passenger and work out how I ride compared to how he rides, and to do what he needs to do for me. We didn't go at it flat out. We just let's do baby steps and work at it. And that was our whole mentality with the Aussies. Obviously, we both wanted to do the absolute best we could and be with the rest of the field and make good points. But we didn't set unachievable, unrealistic goals. We weren't going to come away from the Aussies if we weren't Aussie 1, disgraced with ourselves. We just wanted to have a good, which as I don't know if you know, we'd only had the Aussies was like our 4th meeting together as a pair.
Yeah,
so
I'd seen that.
We jumped on together every meeting, as Kane said. Every meeting we set little goals, we achieved them. The next meeting we ticked that off. What's the next one? And we got better every meeting. And we still had fun every meeting. We both enjoyed being there. It basically just puts us in a good stead, ready for next season. We've done some laps. We've raced the best. We didn't disgrace ourselves. Sure. Would we have liked to have got better points? Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
We all do. We all want to be number one. We can't all be number one. We made it through to the main night. That's a bonus. We've walked away from the main night. A couple of people didn't.
Yes.
Well, they've all walked, but we walked away uninjured, bike unscathed, ready to go next season. So it puts us in a good spot, ready for a team to go again. And luckily, it's at our home track.
Yeah, and as you've already mentioned, like consistency is key to it. Like and you've got to build it up to get to the top there. So it's just dawned on me. What's the atmosphere like in the pits from the Friday night to the Saturday night?
In our pit bay or everyone else's pit bay? Our pit bay is just like sitting around having a barbecue. It's not. Everyone else's pit bay, like it gets hectic and they're all stressed. But yeah, like I think that's why we have gelled and done so well, because we don't put pressure on us, and we're not both sitting there going, right, we've got this person in the race, but we're going out there with 3 other bikes. It doesn't matter who's out there. We're going to ride our race. We're going to do our best and have some fun.
Yeah.
One's blue.
Oh, look, that is something else that, like, I was sitting here because we got these handy dandy little sheets because I watched online from home, and we got the handy dandy sheets with the helmet covers, and my 10-year-old son got so invested in sitting there trying to watch and keep up with everybody. And I have to admit, the first couple of heats, he got so confused when the same team came out with different colours on. He's like, but no, they're meant to be that colour. And it's like, mate, that changes every heat.
Yeah.
I think that's something.
Well, I think that's where I fall in. I'm glad at Gilman, because Gilman have painted in the chute while you're waiting to go out. They've painted the colours that you're on. So I know where I've got to go when I get out onto the track. I get confused when I go to Mildura. It's like, hang on, which colour goes where?
Yes.
I know yellow's on the fence and red's on the pole line. I don't know anything else.
Does it end up
Kane
being
points and says, go in that spot.
Yeah, that's it. Does it end up being the same order every track? Like, is it a standard like, yellow, blue, red, white? Like, or do they just get to pick whatever order they want you to run in terms of lanes?
No, it's all the same. It's red, blue, white, yellow.
Is the spot, but when depending on the format they run, depends on where you actually go, or whether you're in red or whether you're in yellow. But
Yeah.
the actual positioning on the track is always the same.
Yeah.
I've just old age memory. I just never know where it is.
I like it. It's got a nice little pattern. We picked up on the pattern. So whoever sat there and did this, they got to do nice little lines. I was like,
oh, nice.
the random things you notice when you're sitting at home with a piece of paper rather than sitting at the track and just seeing it all unfold in front of you. Oh, dear.
There was one of the races we got when we so the race that we did, I don't know if it was on the qualifier night or on the Aussies night, but we were joking so much about what gate we're in and what number it was. When we actually finished the race, we got second and we come out of blue, and I reached around, I'm like, number two. So just that sort of stuff was fun. Yeah.
And I have to admit, there was a point, and I can't remember what team it was. There was a funny moment where I think someone came out with the wrong helmet covers on, and I sort of went, how often does that end up happening? I don't think it was you guys, but...
No, luckily we didn't do it.
It does happen. I've seen Tyler do it.
Tyler actually done it in Perth and actually got timed out, because by the time he got round to the line, they said, you're the wrong helmet colour. He had to go back to the pits, get the right one. And unfortunately, it cost him his race because he got timed out. Because if it's a club meet or something like that, they're generally fairly lenient. But obviously, Aussies and Oceanas and things like that, you have to have the right one on. And if you haven't got it on, it all falls within your 2 minutes start time. So, yeah, Tyler was unlucky in Perth because that did happen to him. So it does happen more often than you think that it would. But I suppose everyone reading programs, it's easy to make a mistake. We done it actually in Gilman, but Kane picked up on it. I wrote it down wrong on our chart, but he picked up and knew that I'd done it wrong. My dyslexia.
Earning your keep there.
that was a complaint in my column.
Oh dear. So, Mildura was a great night. There was some really, really good racing throughout. Were there any particular battles that you guys really liked? Because there was some really close racing, which is what you really want to see when you get to the top level.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was hard. Like we were sort of either just behind someone or sort of like, I don't know. For us, we didn't have many like swapping and changing battle moments, did we? It was just,
but
I think my favorite one was when we beat Josh Pascoe. Shout out Josh. But yeah, just when we come up underneath him and took the win in that heat. But
yeah. There's the rest of the racing. That's where I suppose that's the hardest part about Mildura. In the pits, you don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Like you don't actually get to see the rest of the racing. So by the time you come into your race, you go down the pit, you get your bike ready for the next one, then you back up. Other tracks, other venues, you can sort of pop your head up while you're doing your bike. You can see into the track. You can see what the track's doing. You can see other races to go, Mark Place had done a good race, or Brody done a good race, or, Tyler won that one, or something like that. But Mildura is, unfortunately, the way that they had to change the pits many years ago because of the river, where the pits used to be. There isn't anything there anymore. It's now water. You physically can't see anything. So some of the teams are okay. They've got a lot of pit crew that do all the thing. They can run up, have a bit of a look, run down, watch the racing, tell the pit crew what to do. As a budget team ourselves, we do the bike, we do the race, and we do everything. We have the joke while we're fixing the bike, but unfortunately it means we don't get to see a lot of the racing at Mildura. So as for the other racings, I can't see if it was good, or I know ours were good, ours were close. Yeah, like Kane said, we weren't tussling for positions, but we were either right there or just in front, So, but no, it was good. I felt we had a good weekend.
I hadn't thought too much about that, the lacking opportunity to actually watch the racing, because especially for you guys on dirt, being able to read what the track might be doing throughout a race meeting is really important. So Mildura looks like a fantastic setup place. Like, when they were showing some of the videos, the fact that the river is like right there behind it, and then they swing around and here's the track. But yeah, that would make it a little bit tricky to know how the track's evolving through the night.
Yeah, it's hard because like sometimes it might only be one tooth on a gearing, or a little bit, 10, 15 mil in length or shorter or something like that. But you've got to half judge from your last race to what heat you're going to be in the next one to go, is it going to be rougher? Is it going to be dirtier? Is it going to be slicker?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a fresh track? Is it going to be a, fourth heat in type track? So you're guessing a lot of it, whereas other tracks you can sort of leave it at the last minute type thing, I guess, and go, yep, let's do that, And it's unfortunate because we don't get to watch racing either. So like, there's probably been some great racing that we haven't got to see.
Yeah.
So we all then have to watch it on live stream or something afterwards and go, oh, that was actually a really good meeting. So we did speak about, the crowd was great up there. But as for the other races, it's hard at Mildura.
Yeah.
Yeah, the venue itself is a great venue. The atmosphere is great. It's just hard for the racers to get to watch. That's the only downside.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And crowd looks spectacular there. Like down in South Australia and Victoria, Speedway seems to pull a lot of spectators in, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good for the sport. So no.
For sure.
It's good going around. It's good going around too, knowing that there's people out there watching. It's like I've been to some events in motocross and road trials and that, where it's slowly dying, and you go out there and you race, and like the people out in the crowd are the mechanics or the pit crew, and there's not that many people watching. So it's good to see a good spectator base.
Yeah. So that's Mildura. That's been a great wrap of that one, and I'm getting a very good feel for how you guys operate. How did you come together as a team to race? So Kane, you're only new to being a passenger. Have you been the rider on sidecars before, or are you brand new to sidecars?
Yeah, so I reckon I started in 2021 on a sidecar. So
Yep.
my cousin and we started on one of Keith Bishard's sidecars, and then we bought our own, and then we rode that for a couple of years. And I didn't get to do the Aussies, the last Aussies at Mildura that they had before this one. I rode that. That was
Yep.
my first Aussies, and I qualified in that with Greg Black. I didn't get to do it with my cousin. And then, yeah, I don't know. We sort of joked about it because Shane was selling his bike, and then I was contemplating trying to buy his bike, and then it got sold to someone else. And there was a couple of things, and we sort of joked about him jumping on with me.
Yep.
And he said no. And then, because I was myself, and I don't know, I sort of every now and again I just poked the bear and said, "Oh, I'll get on for you if you ever need someone," and it just worked out to be that way. And now,
Yeah, we joked about it a lot, but it was more in jest, and I bluntly refused to be a passenger again at my age. But when he kept saying, "I'll jump on with you," I was going, "Oh yeah," and I sort of took it in jest until I needed a passenger, and it was like, well, "Come on, we're going to practice." And he gelled from the start, like the messing around we done in the pits, and we forgot about the racing. We're doing practice. But everything went well. So we went, all right, let's go to the big title for your first meeting. So we ended up back at Mildura, and that was our first race meeting. So
that was terrible.
And that was our horrible one. So then from there we sat down and put up the scorecard and started fine tuning what we needed to do.
So that was the point where the numbers did actually matter to you a little bit.
Yeah, well, they did, but they didn't. It was more we both sort of went, well, that was woeful. And yeah, it started out as a bit of a joke, but once we both got together, the joke became reality, and it actually works. The team works, the family works, which makes the racing easy.
Yeah.
So if all the family gets along and you can do things together outside of Speedway, that makes it easy. And then when it comes to Speedway time, the rest of the families can go off and do something, and we can focus on what we need to do.
Yeah, and that is huge, and it doesn't matter what sport you're doing. Like I've spent a bit of time, like in my day job, I spend a little bit of time around other sports, and you can always tell the clubs that are so much more family orientated, and the teams that gel are always the teams that have more success to an extent, but they also just enjoy it a whole lot more. So it goes to show how important that connection is.
Well, that's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, where with the gelling is there, well, that means the success isn't far away.
We'll cross all of our fingers and toes. So had you done anything much in Speedway before, or Kane, or what was it that inspired you to get a Speedway sidecar?
It's a bit of an interesting story, but so I grew up racing motocross, from probably riding from about 8 years old on a motorbike, and then racing motocross up till, I don't know, I moved to South Australia. I lived in the NT and moved to the SA in probably 2017.
Yeah.
And then sort of reconnected with like all my mum's side of the family, which is like, there's a few petrol heads in that side as well. So my cousin, who's not scared of anything, was like a couple times we had a barbecue and got on the beers, and the subject of we should buy a sidecar came up a couple times, but then sort of like what Shane said about me humbugging him to get on was the other way with me and him, and I was like, nah, I don't know, man, like racing motocross is sort of, and it was just, you always just thought it was just beers talking, but
yeah.
In the end we got on and we had a go, and we're like, man, this is wicked. So yeah, we started riding 2021 or something like that, and I haven't really looked back since. But just the financial side of things and not being able to ride, that you just take a break and trying different passengers and things like that. Just you can almost lose the fun in it because you're trying to work things out, and like I was going backwards, and then mentally I'm like, oh man, this is I don't know what's going on. But my background is motocross. I grew up racing in the NT and raced here in the SA. But my dad grew up racing. My mum grew up racing like solos. My granddad's the president of Gilman, Ivan. So like the family's in it. It's just, I guess I always thought I'd ride a solo, to be honest, but I'm too bloody tall.
Oh, look, tall, lanky passengers always spin me out because, you look at them sometimes and you're like, how do you fit where you're meant to be?
Oh, I don't know. Like, it was, I'm more muscle than lanky, but, but no. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I worried about it a little bit, but, and I think that's where we struggled, like, at Mildura the first time, was because I'm so long. Moving on the bike, little adjustments just changes so much. And I'm, yanking around, and then that just unsettles the bike. And you can see that from, I don't know if you can somehow, I don't know, I'm not sure how interested you are, but you could go back and look at, footage from the Vic title to the Aussies, and just like, I don't know, I get given a few written warnings, so I was trying to make sure that I was really trying to knuckle down on my movements. And from the Vic title to the Aussies, like I'm super happy with like my emotion, but like just calming down, really.
Yeah, slowing everything down and being obviously being a taller passenger, and like Kane and I spoke about it at the beginning. It doesn't matter to me how big you are or even what you weigh. There's a lot of riders out there that they want that 70-kilo passenger, or they want a little tiny passenger to do this. As a passenger, ex-passenger myself, I was always around 83, 84 kilos.
Yeah.
But if you can put it in the right spot, I found it doesn't matter. It's if you're putting it in the wrong spot. So that was just Kane and I gelling, working it out, going, oh, you're bigger, so I need to do this to the setups of the bike to make that easier for him to work and for us to work better and for the bike to do what it needs to do. So, you've got probably our first one for the Vic title was, a little bit Kane, a little bit bike setups, I still had it set up for a different passenger and how I rode, because we were obviously new together. It was like, well, okay, now I need to do that to the bike. I need to change that setup. And with his fine tuning and the bike setup and my riding style slightly different, it's sort of coming together. So
that is so true what you said about the fact that different passengers, like, different combinations can always work. It's just about fine tuning it and finding what you need to be doing. Because when I started, on road, when I started being a passenger with my dad, I'd be coming back in and I'd be like, oh my God, I don't feel like I was out far enough. I'd look at photos and videos of myself and be going, but I'm not in the right spot. And Dad would be saying to me, he's like, what do you mean you're not in the right spot? You are. And I'm like, but I'm not as far out as, I'm looking at photos of people on his bike from back in the 90s. And he's like, but they're much taller than you. They're much slimmer than you. They've got a different body shape to you. He said, you're in the spot that I need you to be in, and for your shape. And and that's a really weird thing to try and process, because when you're watching other people, you're like, that's what I need to be doing, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, exactly. And the person on the throttle too. Like Kane could jump on with someone else and their throttle response or their smoothness on the throttle, they might be smoother on the throttle, or they might be more erratic on the throttle, all of that, or they might get onto the throttle earlier or get on it later. So which changes where he needs to be. So learning as a team, and all that sort of stuff, everything pays dividends.
Yeah.
Part of it was just, the age-old story of you got to fail to succeed. and like we failed at Mildura the first time, but we learned from those lessons and we didn't do them again. We went infield off the start probably 3 times.
Yeah.
And we haven't done it again since. I mean,
no, I think it was twice, and we went infield down the back straight on one of them.
Yeah, okay. But
That's another warning.
But if you got to stuff up to know, like, just those little things, like that. Yeah, it's so hard to replicate, but you got to try it, and that's why we're pretty glad that I guess we did try the Vic title first, because if we didn't go there and make ourselves look silly,
we wouldn't have learned.
We wouldn't have got into the Aussies. No way.
Well, and you've got to try the different things to work out what is actually going to work for you as well. Because again, what worked in a previous combination or in a previous outfit, you've got to try the different things, because while something might sort of go, well, this seems like it should be right, but if you're not going to, as you say, make the mistakes to find what fits, you're not going to get better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not only about, we might have looked silly at that Vic title. It's also about we needed the track time together to make sure that when we got to the Aussies, we knew each other and we knew what we needed to do, which we did.
Proving that you belong to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like there was some skeptics out there, as there always is in the sport, and there's always going, why are you there? Why are you? Well, we made it through. We proved it. We would have liked to have done better, but we quietened a few voices, because there was a few that were going, well, you shouldn't be in there yet, because you've only just started again and doing this, or because of their results, But we looked at it that our figures and the results weren't there, but we weren't far off it. Like, the points didn't prove it, but the laps proved it. So, it's one of those things.
Yeah, and everybody's got to start somewhere, which is a nice little segue into. Shane, how did you get started in speedways? Just a little minute ago.
Before time.
Back many, many moons ago. I'm actually a little bit like Kane. I actually started, but not racing solos. My dad was a scramble passenger, so it's come from generations. And as soon as I turned 16, I was lucky enough that I now call my second dad. He's sort of been around for a long time. I started swinging for him in scrambles and motocross as a motocross passenger.
Yeah.
So I done that for probably 15, 20 years before I even looked at a solo at Speedway.
Yeah, right.
So I was doing motocross. I then went to many different assets of the sport. I've done dirt track. I've done road race, all as a passenger. I even done the Fink with Ronnie Parker as a passenger. But unfortunately, we had a bit of a mishap. Didn't get very far. But it was still. And then, it was one of the girls passengers from Speedway, Karen Ryan, who put me onto Jason Hardy when he was coming out of juniors and he was moving to seniors in Speedway. I'd already done motocross and road trials and road racing and all that sort of stuff. I'll give Speedway a go. Jason needed a passenger, so that's where I started. And from there, obviously, the other assets of the sport have died off a little bit, and body got older. Speedway was better. So I was a passenger, started out as a passenger, done many years with Jason, and then Roger Evans. I've done some laps with Dion, Lind. And then a lot with Ronnie Parker. And I probably owe a lot to him, learning setups and learning the technical side of the sport. Like, it's not all about horsepower or, how good you are, but sometimes it's just reading and being patient and waiting for that right moment. You can barge your way through, or you can just wait that extra lap, and there'll be a hole there if, it doesn't always pay off, but a lot of times it does. So then it got to a point where I wanted to have a crack at behind the bus.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Ronnie was getting ready to start to wind down and retire, so I had a crack behind the bars, and before I knew it, I owned bikes, and it was my turn to find passengers and re-educate people and figure out how I was going to ride. And I was lucky enough that my brother-in-law jumped on with me to start with, so we both learned together. So I've been in the sidecar game for many years. No.
Now,
High 30s.
just a couple, just a hot minute.
Yeah.
So I love getting to talk to riders, and both of you are in the same situation where you've been riders as well as passengers, because sometimes riders who haven't jumped down on the side themselves don't quite get the difficulty, or like don't sort of understand how hard it is to move around sometimes, and they've got a very interesting attitude sometimes towards that. Not all of them, and it is probably a rarity nowadays, thankfully, but between the two, both of you can tell me, which do you prefer doing, riding or being a passenger on Speedway, or does it depend on the track?
I don't know. It's kind of, obviously anyone's gonna, if like anyone growing up riding bikes is gonna prefer to ride.
Yeah.
I think it might not. Get on side.
Not swinging for you.
Like I didn't think that I would like it as much as I do on the back. Like, I mean, not saying that I wasn't gonna like it, but like you're on a motorbike, you're gonna like it. But I didn't think that I would have as much fun and enjoy it as much as I do than what I did, sort of thing. But yeah, I think ideally you want to ride because that's where home is. But I'm just as happy on the back. I'm having fun, and like what Shane said, like learning from Ronnie, I'm learning from Shane. So I'm, my time in the sport's not been very long, so I'm picking up things and learning what I would want from a passenger, so then I can take that back and take bike setup and how I want a passenger to be. So when my cousin comes back, hopefully it all just gels back together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's for me.
It's hard. Like, I actually really enjoyed being a passenger. It was way cheaper being a passenger. And if my body was obviously fitter and younger, I would still enjoy doing it. Obviously, riding is a good buzz, but they've both got their fors and against. Like, it's an adrenaline rush riding, but the different adrenaline you get hanging off the side and the physical exertion you need just gives you a whole different feeling. So I'm on the fence with both of them. I actually really enjoy being a passenger, but at the same time, I now am really enjoying riding. But don't know the bank balance that comes with it. But yeah, it's one of those things that we can't keep being a passenger when you're getting older and things hurt and things ache. Depends on how many crashes you've had, I guess. But I still enjoy, and I have done before. Like, I jumped on with Scotty on the Classics, who used to be my passenger. But then when he got in the Classics, I'd swing for him. So, like, I can still do it. I don't know whether I'd be fit enough now to do, a full season or anything like that as a passenger.
Back to back.
or a back-to-backer. But I'd still give it a go, and I go down and every now and then at a practice day or something, I'll jump on the side because I still do really enjoy being a passenger. And Kane's probably a little bit different, I guess, because he's always been a rider, solos, everything else. I've grown up always on the chair. I never really rode motorbikes.
Yep.
If you see me ride a motorbike with two wheels, you'd probably understand why I was a passenger. So I actually really enjoy being a passenger. The third wheel makes it easier for me to ride, so that's probably why I do it.
It's actually interesting. I'm not sure whether it's the same on dirt, but I've had a lot because I actually don't ride motorbikes myself either. Like I'm a passenger on a road race sidecar, but I don't ride motorbikes. But I've had a lot of people say, and like my dad included, that it's actually harder to teach someone who's got a motorbike license and does ride motorbikes to ride a sidecar because it is a like it's just different to how you've got to control it and that kind of thing. Is it similar in dirt where it's a bit harder to get the handle on how a sidecar operates as opposed to a solo?
Definitely.
Getting
Yeah.
used to the wheels. And the
Yeah,
concept,
it depends on the facet of the sport, I suppose. Like Speedway, the wheel spin, um the way it handles and what you have to do. But like I've obviously passenger on a road race, haven't ridden one yet, but I've done road motocross sidecars, and compared to a motocross sidecar and a speedway sidecar, they handle completely different. So
Yeah.
I would say that like trying to teach someone. I mean, I obviously can ride a solo, but then when I jumped on a road trial sidecar and I was riding that, they handle so much different. You're constantly fighting them. They're constantly pulling down the road or wanting to turn right or turn left, and that's where you obviously need a good passenger to read what the bike's doing. But for the feel behind the handlebars, it's weird. It's something completely. You need to do it. It's hard to explain.
I feel like
Kane, how did you
sitting
find
on
the
the bike.
transition from doing motocross solos to then jumping on a sidecar? Is it a different beast with three wheels?
Yeah, like you think I think the biggest off put for me was not knowing what 1,000 cc's was gonna do under you, like compared to a motocross bike.
Yep.
But like I think I mean, being young and stupid, like this is kind of all you know. But and now I've proved that. I've gone infield more than anyone probably ever. But
Got yourself in a practice, mind
yeah,
you.
no, yeah, that was a heat. Yeah, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I think the big thing for me was just like how cramped you are on the bike. I think
Yep.
like for being tall, I mean, there's a fair few taller riders, but like just how you're sitting on the bike, there's like yeah, there's not a lot of room, I guess, if that makes sense. So you put your foot
Yeah,
down, you're on your knee, and then
you've
your
got the
left foot's
fairing and everything
in
behind
the
you,
wheel.
around you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the big thing for that was just, trusting that you're supposed to have the wheel coming around sort of behind you. Whereas, on the motocross bike, you want that thing tracking straight, otherwise you got no traction. So,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I we picked it up pretty quickly. So we're pretty fortunate to have like good people around us to help us out to tell us, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah.
I've from from Keith and from others in the sport. I reckon you probably even worded me up a couple of times. Mark Mitchell's one. Even the guy that we bought the bike from, Mark Drew. He'd look at pictures and he's like, "Mate, you need to do this." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no worries." Like, there's just
Yeah.
we had a lot of people in here quite early to get us where we were and fairly comfortable pretty quickly. So I think that was good. But then after that, what I struggled with was just the knowledge of trying to set the bike up. That's probably the biggest thing. My biggest struggle is learning when to drop a tooth, lengthen the bike, shorten the bike, all that sort of stuff. Like that's where I caught up to the capability of the bike, and then my knowledge wasn't there. So they sort of met, and then the skill started going down again. So like that was my biggest struggle was setting the bike up, I guess. That
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Yeah, setting the bike up and reading the track, what the track
Yeah.
had done, and changing the bike accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only big struggle that I had.
Yeah, no, there is so much to it, and you don't even realize how much can be changed and how much small
Oh,
tweaks can change the performance of a bike.
yeah. Like we had the Aussies at Gilman a few years back, and I was struggling. Again, we qualified straight through because we did decent in this SA title, but then just struggled in the Aussies. And then, we fairly early we ran our rear tire pressures quite low. And then someone said that, that's crazy. You're going to blow a tire, even though we hadn't up to that stage. And then, I listened and I pumped the tire right up, and I was just like, man, I'm just struggling.
Yeah.
And then, again, Mark Mitchell come over and he said, nah, change it to this, and then fixed. I was like, man, why have I gone away from that? That was, the big thing for that.
It's amazing. There are some fantastic people in all facets of racing and sidecars. Those people that can just walk over and go, "This is what's going to work." Those people blow my mind. So that they can just look at a track, look at how everything's going, and just pick it.
Yeah, and it makes it better because, like, going forward, like Mark and Shane, and don't want to be nasty, mate, but they're guys that are almost on the no, I don't. That's probably unnice to say. Is like they're not on the way out, but they're at the stage where like, oh, maybe we go a couple more years, or and then there's me in the middle, and then there's the kids coming up. Like, so if they don't tell me, I can't tell them. The sport dies, So
Yeah.
like, it's I guess having those people that are above you, like like what Ronnie would have done for you, and you're doing for me, and Mark's doing for me, and eventually you got to hand it on, otherwise the sport will go backwards. And,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it. Like gatekeeping that kind of knowledge and information has no place in the sport because otherwise it'll die. And that's 100% right.
Yeah, and I can't beat him.
I've always looked at it like I'm sometimes probably too blasé with a lot of information, and I will spend that much time helping others, even on race night. I'll be running up and down in the pits if someone's got a problem, and next minute it's like, Shane, you're up. And it's like, geez, I've got to get my bike ready. But I would rather know that I've helped them and try to make it so that if they're going to beat me, like if they beat me, they beat me. It's like Brian Sylvie. He's improved so much. It's obviously not all me. Him and Glenn have gelled. The bike's good, but the little information you can give him, I would rather know that he's beating me or not beating me, but not because I've kept something from him. I would rather go, this is the information. Do with it as you please. You can either try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you've lost nothing. But to give the information out there, and then if they beat you, well, they're a better rider. If they've got the same information and they can do better with it than what you can, so be it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. I'm going to digress slightly, Shane. You tried to pass over the fact that you've done Fink on a sidecar as a passenger. Now, I've spoken to a couple of the guys who have done Fink as riders, but I want to know, even though it sounds like there's a bit of a story to it, you're going to have to tell us, what was Fink like on a sidecar as a passenger?
I'm devastated at how it ended. I wanted to finish it. Unfortunately, it's a funny story actually. We again with Ronnie, we had a good bike. We rode all the motocross season, got as fit as you can get on a motocross outfit. Nothing ever prepares you for Fink. The only way you can do Fink is do Fink. I've always wanted to go back just so I can do it and say I finished it. But yeah, as a passenger, look, we done prologue. We had some bike problems. We were at the back of the pack. Unfortunately, one of the other teams, it was the last year sidecars were ever at Fink. And for them to allow us to ride, we had to get a group of sidecars. There had to be a minimum of 10 before they'd let us run. So we all sort of bowed together, and we done a big team up, Nugget Coppin and Kath, and everyone sort of dug their heads in, and all us motocross sidecars sort of went, all right, well, let's make a team. So it was a good environment. The racing was something I've never experienced before. It's weird. The dust, the coldness. You all hope for a really windy, rainy day, so it keeps the dust down. And if the dust is there, it blows away. But it's weird. The way the thing works, no matter when you get there, it just seems to be still, and the dust just lingers. So you're constantly riding with bugger all vision.
Yeah.
And as a passenger, yeah, it's hard, and the toll it takes on your body. It was like we were lucky enough on the main day to get someone else's sidecar because they had crashed in prologue. Which unfortunately it was a blessing because it was a far better bike than we had. But
Isn't
at the
that a bit
same
of
time,
a one of those curses, or am I thinking boats where you don't want to have something that's already crashed? Is that like, one of those
that's
superstitions?
unfortunately what happened. That's what actually put us out because obviously they'd crashed in prologue, and we sort of went, yep, we knew it was a better bike, and it wasn't a big crash in prologue either. But it was just enough, obviously, to weaken something, and we got to probably I think it was only the 60k mark, and we're going through some whoops, and the handlebar snapped in half.
Oh.
So we ended it big time, and unfortunately, that was due to the crash in prologue. So it was a blessing to get a better bike, but unfortunately, it was also the curse that was
Oh.
out. So yeah, but as a thinking personally, I would love to do it again, but unfortunately they don't do it anymore. So
Yeah.
I will struggle, and I will try to find my way back to Fink one day so that I can at least say I finished it. Whether it be on a solo or whether it be on something, I will get back to it and I will have another crack. Just be my little support group. It's a brilliant question.
Fink is definitely one of those events. Like, I know a few guys who have done it. Like, there was one year where I know the guy who finished second to Toby Price the year he won in the buggy class and stuff like that. And it just, talking with him after that event, it's just something else. Like, I can only imagine what it's like to be there and to be experiencing it.
Oh, even not racing it, just the whole complete atmosphere for the whole weekend. I mean, I'm a bit like Kane. I used to live in Alice Springs, so of course every year I used to go there.
Yeah.
And then when I moved away from Alice Springs, we'd make sure every year we got back there, and then that slowly got harder to afford and all those sort of things with life. So I haven't actually been for quite a few years now, but we spend our money on Speedway and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I will get back there, but yeah, it's just the whole atmosphere is different.
Yeah.
It's something great.
Oh, it would be. Okay, I would love to get there to spectate it one year. I don't know whether I'd be game enough to actually compete in any form, but just to be there and experience it would be wild.
Yeah.
The only reason I haven't gone back because I fear whoops now.
Have you done it
There's
on a
just so many
solo?
of them. Yeah, I did it in 2015.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the 40th anniversary year.
Oh, yeah.
Did it on a KX 250, and I think they had like 700 bikes or six. It was a big number of bikes being an anniversary year. They upped the entries for bikes and cars.
Yeah.
So it was a stupid amount of bikes and cars, and prologued 160th, and it was terrible. Like the pre-running was awful because the sun was coming down, and like Shane said, the dust is, oh man, it's horrendous. And if you catch that next group, you can't see your hand in front of you. So basically, you're just gambling, holding your throttle on, and all right, there's a clearing, and then that's the kind of stuff you're dealing with. And then I had a big off probably at Bunduma, which is, I don't know, where they say all the big whoops are. They lie. They're everywhere. So my left hand side of the handlebars was completely down. I rode from Bunduma to Fink like that, and luckily, knowing me, I had spare handlebars because I like to separate from my bike occasionally. And yeah, I got back to Fink 280 something, and then got back to Alice 211. So I passed a few bikes on the way home, but I was pretty sore. My right side was purple and my left side was white. So I'd probably come off about 110k an hour, I reckon.
Yep.
Just remember looking up on my feet, sky dirt, sky dirt, sky dirt, sky dirt. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to go back again too, but I still haven't forgotten about the whoops.
Yeah. It'd
Funny, like
sit
when you
with you
said
for a
about
while.
the end for ending, like when we done that on the sidecar, I had red your protein stuff in my camelback, and we landed that hard that it burst my camelback.
Oh.
And Ronnie thought I was bleeding everywhere because it was just I was just covered in all this red. So the red cordial plus the red dirt, I just looked like I was a mess. So Ronnie made sure I was all right. But yeah, like that was the impact. It just burst my camelback as well. So when you crash hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Like if that would have been quite the sight, just exploded and made mud.
I
So
remember like my crash when I had that get off. I was like in my head I was like, man, this would be a terrible place to crash. And then I had that big one, and just out of nowhere, this dad and this young kid come out. The young fella's picking up my bike. He would have been no bigger than like my stepson. It would have been like 9 or 10 years old. I'm like, firstly, how did you do that? And secondly, the dad's shoving snake lollies in my mouth. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure out where I am. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it's just like, even, like just shows you how like motorsport is like.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
Yeah. Like
yeah.
I had a kid pick up my bike with had shove lollies on my mouth and smack me on the bum as I rode away. So like,
Well, we had people whittling pieces of wood to try and smash them into our handlebars and expected us to continue. And we went, that'll get us back to base camp. And we ain't racing with a bit of wood in our handlebars.
no way.
So yeah, but the community up there, if something happens, they all jump in and make sure you're right and get you back up.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's really what we want to be seeing. Do you have, so Shane, you've said you've jumped on many different classes of sidecars, many different surfaces you've raced on. If budget was no option and track availability, because that's a big issue that we have in the sport, which one would be your favourite, or the one that you would like to give more of a go to?
No budget. Think about all the bikes you have.
I'm not financing this.
No budget. Would you do all of them?
I'm not financing it. It's a hypothetical.
So when are you buying my road race outfit? No, I actually thoroughly enjoyed being a passenger on a road race. It was short-lived. It was only for a few. I would really like to have a crack at riding one, to see what it's like. But the adrenaline, the Speedway, I can't. It was that long ago. I can't remember his name. It was a Formula 2.
Yeah. So a short bike, a 600cc.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd probably like to have a crack at that. But at the same time, the Speedway is such an adrenaline rush, and it's short, and the community itself in Speedway is that good. Not between the sidecar boys anyway.
Yeah.
Not all the Speedway fraternity is close fit, but a lot of the sidecar boys. Obviously, we're all enemies on the track, but you get back in the pits and we all help each other, and we all want to make sure everyone goes home. So if something goes wrong, we're all there. Motocross, that was good. That was my grassroots. Unfortunately, that's died a lot. But it's an all-day drag out. It's good for families because you do a race, then you go out and you sit there and you're in the pits. You can go socialise and all that sort of stuff. It's not so yeah. I'd like to have a good crack at road race, but at the end of the day, no, I'd probably stay with Speedway.
Yeah. And you guys in South Australia, because you've got the Bend and Malala, I think, are the only road circuits you've got, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, and even the Bend isn't running.
Yeah.
The Malala isn't running that much anymore. They're
Yeah.
all, because obviously he owns both of them. He's trying to push the Bend thing, which yeah,
Oh, no,
I
there's Mount
actually haven't
Gambier
even
as
been
well.
to
You guys
watch
have Mount
any.
Gambier.
Yeah, and Mac Park.
Yeah.
I actually haven't even been to see any racing at the Bend yet.
I've watched it on
So,
TV.
I actually don't even think I've done that, to be honest. So yeah, I suppose to answer that, I'd probably still do Speedway. I'd like to have a crack at road race, but I'd probably go back to Speedway in the end.
Yeah. Kane, is there any that you would like to give a go? Again, I'm not financing it, but if budget was no option, is there anything else that you would be keen to jump on and have a go at?
There's no finance, no comment. I think Speedway's home. I feel like motocross, just being used to racing a motocross bike as per a sidecar, I think I just get too frustrated with it.
Yep.
It takes away that fun of leaning over in a rut or jumping and being able to turn the bike, left or right or whatever, whip or scrub or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll just get mad at it. And then I don't think my partner would let me do a road racing sidecar because I'd probably kill myself. But I think dirt sidecars is just having all of that, all that crowd, like what Shane said, like growing up in motocross, there's it's very cliquey. Like there's a handful of people that you'd talk to, and then especially for me, coming from the NT and moving down here, I knew like 2 or 3 dudes racing motocross here, and it was just like, where can I ride? Like growing up in the NT, you could just ride out the back and go find a bush track, and you were riding for however long you wanted. Whereas here, there's got to be a track, or someone's got to have one at their house, or thanks, Shane.
The kids are out the back riding at the moment.
Good on them.
But like you got to know someone, and so I'd for sure pick sidecars. I would say name another sport we can hang this far off the ground, but that's sidecars, isn't it? So that they're all kind of like road racing, motocross. They're all the same. But yeah, I don't know. I think for the speed and the distance, like you get hit in any kind of sport, but like constant knowing of another bike being next to you and there are fairings here, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Don't move. But like, I think that's just the good fun of it, and they got more power than a lot of people think. Like you're like, oh yeah, it doesn't look that fast on telly, but when you're on one, it's as yourself being a passenger, you're like, oh yeah, these things move.
Yep.
But
and with no brakes,
no brakes. Yeah. No. So if you want to stop, you shut off and turn right. That's it.
Yep.
You can't turn left. You probably hit the bloke, or I mean.
I've tried.
It's very rare that you're able to turn left and go around someone because the bike just tips, so easily. Yeah. So it's either turn right and hope to God that you stop before them, or you go infield and risk jumping the junior track. Brings back to the motocross.
Yeah, don't mix your disciplines. They might get a bit mad about that. So I shouldn't. Yeah, I mean. So, what are your plans? So, Speedway season does sort of wrap up now. Like, it falls a bit quiet. So, what are your plans for the next season? Like, are you in sort of rip down the bike, prep it now, and when are you guys out racing again?
I'll go home, wait for the phone call.
Typical passenger.
Yeah, mine's. Yeah, ours is about to get the engine pulled out of it. I'll pull the engine down and give it a friction up. Go over the frame. I'll get the frame all repainted, and just slowly work through getting everything done. And I'm probably lucky enough that I can do my own engines. So we save money there. So yeah, mine as will come out, it'll get a full freshen up. But I'll focus on the frame and I'll put our other spare engine in. So in the off season we can get some more laps in while the good engine's getting rebuilt. The second engine's still a good engine, and it's something that I've been trialing and playing with. I just wanted to stick something I knew back in for the Aussies.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll play with this other engine a bit more in the off season and see if we can get it to do some more weird stuff. But it'll have the good engine there, freshed up, ready to go for the new season.
It is something that someone I think it was way back in the second episode I did of this. So my guest in that said to me, and it's rung true and it makes sense when he said it, to race sidecars, he said you've either got to have a lot of money or a lot of knowledge, because you've either got to be able to do your engines and all the work yourself, or you've got to be able to afford to have somebody else do it.
Yeah. And even doing them yourself, like it's still not cheap. Parts obviously go up. There's a lot of stuff involved. Sure, you save on the labour, which, if you're paying someone to do, you can spend a lot of money on labour. But yeah, being able to do it yourself and at your own pace, and when the parts come in, and not it makes it better too when you're at the track. If something goes wrong, you know, like you've built it or you've done something, so it gives you that background knowledge of what's going on underneath you.
Yeah, I don't pretend to understand any of the inner workings of our outfit either, because ours is a 1962 Norton. Dad has done a lot of work to it that only he understands. Like there are even people that'll come and see it at the track and they don't understand what he's done. And it's weird because we were at a race meeting once early on when Dad got it back down, and it ended up being a valve seat had gone in it when we ended up discovering that was it. And one of the guys around just looked at Dad and looked at me and went, "Oh, so what happens now? Does it go back to the shop?" And I was like, "That's the shop," and just pointed at Dad. Like, there's no one else around that can work on some of these. But like for you guys, it's a little bit, yeah, that's it. It's like, that's the shop. But yeah, and again, that's kind of the life of a rider, isn't it? You guys tend to be the ones that own the machines.
Yeah, which brings me back to what I said before. It was cheaper being a passenger. I
don't know. I like to think I pull my weight.
You just go, see ya, bye.
No, I end up being the travel agent for ours because I'm the one that sits down and, finds where we're going to stay, because we travel as a family and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I sit down and work out where we're going to stay and all that kind of thing. So I like to think I pull my weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wipe the bike down and change summer colours.
That's
job.
Yeah. At the track.
Yeah. In the shed, I'm like, you're doing a really good job. I'm just emotional support.
He's sitting there in the shed just wiping down the bike while he's in the middle of doing stuff and just putting different helmet covers on him every half an hour.
I'm just practicing.
It's an important job. Got to make sure you get them on straight. Got to make sure.
You don't forget for the next meeting.
Oh dear! And I guess
because
and because we already know that. So Gilman's your home track, and the Aussie titles are there next year or next season. Obviously, that's going to be something that you're aiming for. Are there particular events that you sort of really want to get to at some point?
Obviously you hit the nail there. We want to get into the Aussies at home, and then doing good in that would be, of course, the goal. Knowing that, we both know Gilman more than what we know Mildura. We've both done enough laps there, on the back and on the front, each of us. So, I think the big thing for us, knowing that the track's at home is just let it flow, I guess. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves knowing that it's home and expecting yourself to be up the front. So I think, one race, one meeting at a time, and get to the Aussies. And
yeah, exactly. Like we've done, Doc, not pressure ourselves, just go out there and still enjoy it and let happen what happens, Obviously the goal would be to get first in our state title at Gilman, because that way it puts us. Then we don't have to do a back to back.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if we have to do a back to back, we do a back to back as long as we're in there. But that would be the goal to win a state title at our home track, so that it puts us straight in. But we're not going to pressure ourselves. We'll have some fun and do like we've done this season. Sort of have a laugh in the pits and maybe get the bike ready for the next race and go out and do what we do.
Yeah.
Shorten the list a little bit.
Yeah. Try and have a little bit less of that. Those red and yellow cards for each other.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's less risk of losing my job.
Yeah. If we can get it on one sheet of paper rather than a scroll, we'll be all right.
Hang on, pull out the post-it notes. Get to a post-it note.
If he doesn't have as much to read in between races, it's easier.
Yeah, I can't read that. Because I'm good at it.
No, look, that's probably I've thoroughly enjoyed the chat with you guys. It has been fantastic, and I do really appreciate you taking the time. And I look forward to watching how next season evolves as you guys get more laps together under your belt.
Yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity. It was good to sort of have a bit of a chat and sort of let other people know where we're at and how we've developed and what we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
And again for you to keep the sport going too, like this sort of stuff to let other people out there in the world sort of know about our sport.
Yeah. Well, that's it. As I say, I can't budget it. I can't finance these amazing dreams, but we can keep getting the word out there and do what we can to help.
Yeah, it is appreciated.
Awesome. Thanks heaps, guys. You enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you once again to Shane and Kane for jumping on and having a chat. Really appreciate the laughs and being able to enjoy conversations about sidecar racing. It's what it's all about. And as we approach winter, of course, there's some tracks that are slowing down with what they're doing, but please make sure you are tagging us in any of your local tracks events that involve sidecars so that we can keep on spreading the word about what's going on out there. The more people that we can get out on track or even backsides, trackside, enjoying the action, the better. So please follow Aussie Sidecar Stories and tag us in any of your news that you've got going on.
Round 2 of the Motorcycle Racing Club of Western Australia Championships will be on Sunday, May 17 at Collie Multiplex. Round 2 of the South Australian Reliability Trials Series will be at Mike Connor's Trial in Barossa Valley on Saturday, May 23rd. The Australian Senior Dirt Track Championships will be held in Canberra on May 23rd and 24th at Fairbairn Park, hosted by the ACT Motorcycle Club. Round 3 of the Hartwell Motorcycle Club Championship will run at Macnamara Park, South Australia on June 6 and 7. The Olympic Park Classic Speedway Championships will be held on Saturday, June 6 and Sunday, June 7, hosted by Mildura Motorcycle Club. The weekend features pre-1985 sidecars and solos as a nod to the machines of yesteryear. The Lou Job Day Trial will be at Robertstown on June 6 and 7, Round 3 of the South Australian Reliability Trials Series. Wanneroo Raceway will hold the second round of the Motorcycle Racing Club of Western Australia Championship on Sunday, June 7. The second round of the Southern Downs Road Race Championships will include F1 and F2 sidecars at Morgan Park on June 13 and 14. Wanneroo Raceway will host the third round of the historic competition Motorcycle Club of Western Australia Championship on Sunday, June 14. Round 2 of the Tamworth Motorcycle Club Championships will be at Oakburn Park on Saturday, June 20, including dirt track sidecars as well as junior and senior speedway outfits. On Sunday, June 20, the South Australian Reliability Trials will make their way to the Beryl Pierce Trial in Clare for Round 4. Round 2 of the South Australian Road Race Championships will be at the Bend on July 4 and 5. The New South Wales Dirt Track titles will be hosted by Griffith Motorcycle Sports Club on July 4 and 5. The 24-hour trial will test entrance at Kapunda in South Australia on the weekend of July 10 to 12. After a year in limbo, the Big Chill will roar into Morgan Park on July 11 and 12, hosted by Queensland Early Motorcycle Sports Club. The Akubra Classic will feature dirt track sidecars on July 18 and 19. 6 entrants are needed to keep the class running at the event, hosted by Macleay District Motorcycle Club. Bye.